Hi, I'm CJ Altenberg with Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Frederick, Colorado. We appreciate you tuning in. So behind me we have a brand new 2024, yes, a 24 model. Those started coming out May 1st off the production line. So we do have those new model year trailers coming off the line right now. But if you're in the market for a big trailer, big Trainer trailer, I mean, hauling about 8 head of horses, this is a great setup that we're gonna walk you through. Maybe you're from Serbia, you got 8 race horses you need to haul around. This is a slam dunk of a trailer. We joke because we are celebrating a NBA championship last night by the Denver Nuggets, but joker, seriously, if you need a trailer, we can hook you up for your race horses. So let's walk through this brand new Cimarron. We're gonna take a look at the drawing before we really get into it. This has got a lot we gotta cover today. So this is an 8 horse, like I talked about, Trainer Tack setup, 36 foot on the floor, 8 foot wide, 7'4" tall. So we have that extra width and that extra height. Now, one thing you'll notice on the drawing is a lot of the trailers are a 4 foot offset. This is actually a 2 foot offset. This is a really good setup for, you know, a little bit smaller horses as far as like your cutters, your reiners. If you're getting those really big horses, that offset kind of throws it a little bit, but that way it kind of keeps the length of the trailer down a little bit as well at 36 foot on the floor. But we've got a front dressing room, a hay room, a lot of things that we're going to cover on this trailer as we walk through it. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. First thing on a Cimarron, all aluminum construction. You have an 8-year structure warranty. You have a 3-year hitch to bumper. So they really stand behind the product as far as that's concerned. With it being a bigger trailer, one of the very first things you notice walking up to this gooseneck is dual jacks. We felt like with it being an 8 horse, a lot of tack room, a lot of hay, hay storage on this that we'll show you here in a few minutes. We just wanted the dual jacks. That way we've got the stability of it, unhooking, hooking up. Maybe you want to leave a lot of that stuff on the trailer itself when you get home or at the show. Being able to also, with the dual jacks, are on dual switches. So if we're just off a little bit and we go to hook this up, I can actually walk a trailer onto the ball if it's off just a little bit by having those dual jacks and having them as individual switches. There are some out there that will just be one switch, so the up and down they both go. This one here, we can manipulate each side if we want there. Battery box to power those. Also, air ride suspension. This is an air ride equipped trailer. We'll talk more about that here in a few minutes, but battery disconnect. We really like those disconnects. Cimarron made that standard a couple years ago. It's really nice because in this one here, we'll show you all the storage. If a light accidentally gets left on, we're not draining the batteries on this trailer and come up to hook it up maybe at a show, at home, something like that. You just leave it, drains that battery, you come to hook up, you're in a hurry, then you have to deal with that. So the last thing you do is just reach up and turn that to the off position, kills all power to it. Air ride compressor is just to the right of that as we're looking at it. So that is all a self-contained compressor. It's on off, it's lower raised. It is extremely simple to use. Believe me, once you have an air ride trailer, you're never going back. That is the most common thing we hear. We'll talk a little bit more about that ride in a little bit. I want you to notice on the bottom of that box, there's an auto drain valve. That's something that we're adding to some of our air ride trailers now, and we're gonna continue as we move forward. We've been kind of testing it out with some customers, some personal demos here, the air ride systems. What's really nice is on the other systems that Cimarron puts on with Dexter, we just have a cable that we pull to drain this. What happens is air creates condensation, so we have that moisture within the system. It can kind of get some debris in there. This will automatically get rid of that, keeping the system running at optimal just performance. Now, this can be added on. We've been talking to Cimarron a little bit, but you'll notice on our trailers, we're gonna start putting this on our air ride trailers again. And what happens is we walk through customers, there's a lot going on these trailers. What we found is some customers aren't draining these, so it's causing just some issues with the system itself, the compressor. So by having this, it really eliminates that. It's really just kind of foolproof. Just go use it. This is actually pulled from the commercial truck side of the industry out there. They use these on a lot of their semi-trailers, actual semis themselves. So it's got a commercial use. We're just bringing it over to our side. But again, really cool little added piece that we're putting on these trailers themselves. On a Cimarron, their noses are a little bit longer than standard. So a lot of other manufacturers out there will build a 7.5, 7-8 foot long nose. Cimarron does an 8.2 standard. If we do an enclosed front end, it actually extends it to 9. But I really like that from the standpoint of if you're running a long box truck with a tailgate even down, a lot of other manufacturers, that tailgate's right up against a hydraulic jack, spare tire. This here, we can drop it and we can actually walk through the trailer itself. This is a wraparound nose style that we put on this trailer. It's just a sleeker look to it. White sheeting, that is standard. There is other color options. There is an upgrade and a charge to go with some different colors. But white really works well with a lot of different just trucks and color combinations out there in today's market. So we got a couple things going on here. We're going to start up front. This is a front dressing room. So with this one here, we have the Traner tack on the other side. But here, these dressing rooms are really nice from the standpoint of being able to throw some items in here, keeping them nice and clean. We're not in the tack. These rooms stay usually pretty clean just for that reason. But as you can see, if you're hauling totes, you're hauling clothes, those type of items, we've gone in, carpeted all the walls, the deck itself. You got some LED lights up in the nose, one above the door, long clothes rod that goes on the left side of that. Hey, if you need an additional clothes bar in these, it's really simple to add. We've even framed this for an AC unit on their tack rooms. They come standard that way, so that's a real simple piece that is already taken care of. It's a very small, it's actually built into the standard model on these horse trailers, but it's a really small little price that you're paying that would cost a lot and be a hassle down the road if you ever wanted to add an air conditioner or a vent to that. So even those kind of pop-up camper style vents have the same footprint. You just cut it out, install it, and you're good to go there. Bridle hooks on the wall in the middle, and then behind me, more bridle hooks, a couple high, a couple low, but again, everything's carpeted, protecting everything. And then we did an 18-inch boot box. So nice step hopping up into the nose itself. Use it as a bench, storage, great storage within this. And then I also want you to notice this floor. So instead of rubber mats, we've been doing this a lot. We actually pulled this from the show side of things. So the show cattle trailers, the pig trailers, the lamb trailers, goat trailers. This is a floor that's come really popular over there, and we brought it over here and started incorporating it quite a bit on some horse trailers in their tack rooms. But it's nice because they cut it. It's got a lot of grip. Those rubber mats, things can still get underneath them. You got to pull them out and clean them occasionally and then put them back in. Carpet will get stained, kind of hold that odor over time on the floor. So this has been a really popular option. People really like it. But we really like that it goes and seals, and it still has a lot of grip to it itself. And then a step. You're going to notice we put fold-up steps around this whole trailer as we're walking through it. We have this trailer aired up right now, so it's about 2.5 inches higher. So think about that. If we lower it, everything's lower to the ground. It's easier for horses to step off the stall area, easier for you getting in and out of these tack rooms. But man, these steps are worth the extra little bit to put on these trailers, especially this trailer being 8 foot wide. You know, you have no running board on there. So if you look at where I'm standing to the bottom of this door frame, that's a big, big step if you're carrying things. By having that fold-up step, it's an easier transition. And then, simple as that, it's just on a gas shock and out of the way. One last thing we did is you're gonna notice, I'll point this out as we work between each kind of tack room itself, but we did this combo lock. So as long as you don't lock this, you do the combo, you can send somebody to the trailer, they punch it in and can get into these tack rooms on this trailer without having a key. That's kind of one of the problems. Who has the keys? Oh, so-and-so does. They're getting ready to go show, or it's back at the stall, or it's out at the truck. Simple to get into these from that standpoint there. So behind that is a hay room. You notice we didn't have any type of hay rack, pod, anything like that on the roof. That's one of the tough things about those is how do we get the hay up there? Obviously getting hay down is a little simpler process. You have gravity. You just throw a bale down. You can go up with feed bags and fill them up and then hand them down. To where this, we opted for the actual hay room itself. So this is on the back side of that front dressing room. But if you notice here, we've just lined it with rubber on the wall, kind of like standard kick mats. We did that gray rubber floor as well. Put an LED light in there. If you stack them right, you can get about 15 bales of hay, which is equivalent to a lot of the hay racks and pods out there that Cimarron offers. But here's the thing, you can load it right here. Or if you're hauling, bags of pellets or cubes, you can throw them in this as well. Muck buckets, buckets itself, wheelbarrows, anything like that can easily go in this room right here. Same thing, combo lock on it. And a step as well. So when you're getting in and out, I'm gonna shut my light off. That's where the battery disconnect comes into play. I could have left that light on, hit that battery disconnect, and it would have killed power to it, and we wouldn't be draining that battery. I want you to notice on the top rail, we put a lot of button lights on this guy. Those are LED button lights, not a big power draw, put out a good amount of light itself. This trailer looks cool at night. The spacing on that is maybe about every 3 foot apart on those button lights. Cimarron also does a good job not to break up the sequence. They'll shift those awning lights that you see there, maybe forward, maybe backwards, just a touch, just to make sure it doesn't break that sequence up. That would drive me nuts. I've seen some trailers at night that other manufacturers have done that, and it really looks weird. The front half is spaced evenly, and then all of a sudden in the middle you got these couple lights jumbled together, and it just doesn't look right. So we opted for drop windows every other on this tail side. So 1, 3, 5, and 7 have drops. 2, 4, 6, and 8 have bus windows. Get a lot of airflow throughout this trailer. We're gonna talk more about the insulated roof on these trailers and what it does for temperature when we get in the stall here in a few minutes. But we like having some drops on there just for that reason. Amber turn signal. This is another one of those really small little add-ons, but we really like it. We feel it's got a lot of value, and it helps us out when we're actually traveling. So this will work as an indicator when you turn your blinkers on, your brakes, but as you can see also as an additional marker light. So when you look down this trailer, 36 foot on the floor, you have an 8-foot nose. It's 44 nose to tail. So by having that light there just kind of helps you out on kind of where things are. Also, it's a long ways to the back of this trailer where the turn signals are, and I hate to say this, most people out there driving really don't pay attention to trailers. So when they see this, maybe their car's right here or where they're actually traveling, they understand, hey, they're trying to get over. Your blinker for the truck's up there, blinker for the trailer's back there. Now let's talk about what we have going on here. Triple axle air ride. So we're gonna cover a couple different things. Spread axle as well. So we did a spread between each axle itself. This really helps with weight distribution. Also takes a lot of the tongue weight off. This is an 8-horse. You've got a hay room, you have a front tack, you have a trainer tack. So 3 8K axles. So the GVWR in this trailer is 24K. So you can put a lot on this, but by spreading them out, it really helps the way this trailer rides. Top it off with air ride suspension. Again, what it does for our horses when we're actually in transit is amazing. Customers can say that we can take a full day off the front end of our trip from a recovery standpoint for our horses because of the air ride. They step off the trailer fresher. You're not getting those bolts and jolts and just, from whether it's potholes, just bad roads, just constantly on a long drive for your horses having to deal with that. We've heard countless stories of somebody leaving a mug of coffee in a front tack room and going to a show, and it still has the coffee in there and the cup didn't move when it got there. Watching, guys will put in head-to-heads with box stalls, having to pull over because they think the horse is dead back there. They got cameras on it and he's just laid down like he's in a box stall. He just doesn't know any better. There are countless stories of that. We've got a lot of customers that can give testimonials on how well this air ride performs, what it does for them, for their horses. We probably can't put a dollar amount on this. Yes, it is an upgrade on a trailer, but I don't think we can truly ever put that dollar amount on what it does for possible medical bills or vet bills on the actual horses themselves, for just the longevity and what this ride does for horses themselves. The most common thing I can tell you customers say is they will never own another trailer without air ride once they have it. So let's get back to this. Electric brakes on this. You have 3 axles, so plenty of brake on this trailer itself by doing that. We went with 19.5-inch wheels. So 19.5-inch wheels. The cool thing about that is you can pull into about any truck stop there is in this country and get a tire if you need. Nice heavy duty tires on this. Again with the Aire ride, 8K triple axle Aire ride, serious running gear underneath this trailer. I would challenge anybody out there to find a more better equipped running gear underneath this type of a trailer that we're looking at right here. The other thing too is with this being the Dexter Airflex setup, if something happens to that compressor up front, a line, a bag, it'll set down on rubber torsion axles and you can still go down the road. Old Aire ride systems, when you lost air, whether it's the compressor, a line, you couldn't move the trailer. So this is a lot better process and setup as far as that's concerned compared to those older Aire ride trailers. And again, what it does for your horses is amazing. Now, we're gonna come back to this triple axle because there's always a challenge with triple axles. How they turn, the challenges of that. Well, we have a solution for it, but I wanna get to the other side of the trailer because we'll talk about that when we get there and what we have done here at Transwest to help you out with that. So as we get to the actual stall area, when we get to the back here, we've got one big door. Some customers like rear ramps, real simple. If we need to add a rear ramp for you, we remove that rubber bumper, we put a ramp over the back door, it folds up, very simple process, but we can do that here. Like I said, we have this trailer aired up right now. So it's about 2.5 inches higher than when we dump it. So when we're loading, unloading horses, tack, hay, whatever, I always recommend to customers dump the air because it lowers this trailer down. So it's a smaller step. If you throw a ramp on here, it's not as steep. You know, when we're dealing with angles there, you got some load lights at the back here, 2 LED, 6-inch lights back here. The other thing too is we have backup lights on this. So that's another one, kind of like that amber turn signal we've been adding. Again, the truck's a long ways away. We're getting into places maybe unfamiliar, getting there in the middle of the night, getting home. It's nice to be able to hit reverse and those lights come on and you can kind of see back here as far as that's concerned. Maybe you want to add some stall cameras, maybe like a backup style camera. We can do that as well. We've got 2 and 4 camera systems. Now as we get into this stall area, you're going to notice this very back one telescoping. We've gone airflow dividers, padded dividers on everything. So as you start opening these up, I also want you to notice that they're all starting to pull towards the driver's side. That's because of the big spring that Cimarron uses. So we're not having to hold dividers open, loading, unloading horses. It's an 8-horse, there's a lot of them. So we'll make our way up to the very first 2. And the reason why I wanted to show you these is that stall 1, stall 2, we went ahead and did stud dividers on these for you. We understand 8-horse, you're hauling a lot of horses. Why just put 1 on there? Maybe you've got a couple that you need to kind of separate. But it's nice to be able to have that security of the actual stud dividers. So we did that at 1 and 2. Air flows on the head grills as well. Drops on head side. 2-way roof vents on the roof itself. So we can create a lot of airflow throughout this trailer. You know, the best example is, you know, think about a slight breeze on a really hot day. It makes you feel a little bit better. When there's no breeze, you know, that's when it gets real stuffy and really hot. You really notice it. So anytime we can create airflow, it really helps. By having the drops, even the buses, every other, and everything we've done over on this side of it, it really helps. To cap it off, you have an insulated roof. That is standard on every single Cimarron. Doesn't matter what model it is. So that roof right there, what's really cool about it is its design. It's a honeycomb design. It's a 1/2 inch thick. So it's really strong. It's reinforced. I can get on this roof and walk on it. It takes 150 pounds per square foot. It will take substantial hail. May 9th, May 10th, about midnight right in there, we had a pretty good hailstorm here. All of our aluminum sheeted trailers got hail damage. We will be having hail sales, so stay tuned for that. But on our Cimarrons, it didn't do anything to the roofs. And that just is a testament on how well these roofs are constructed and the strength of them. But more importantly, in my opinion, is what it does for this stall area temperature. It keeps these stall areas about 20% cooler than aluminum sheeted roofs. So again, everything we've done from an airflow standpoint with drops, airflow dividers, two-way roof vents, you have that insulated roof that's going to keep it so much cooler for your horses, so much more comfortable. That's what we're ultimately trying to do. We're going to compete with these horses, going to show them whatever it is, performance, we want them to perform at the highest level. So air ride, keeping them nice and cool, comfortable is definitely a plus, and you have that in this type of a setup. LED lights as well on tail side. Everything's on an individual switch, so I can turn on just the stall lights. I can turn on right-hand load lights. I can turn on the back load lights. I can turn on left. So it's nice to be able to go ahead and have the ability to manipulate where you want that actual light itself. You have a butt strap that goes across this opening. Just because it's a larger opening, we go with the strap rather than a bar. That's a large bar you'd have to deal with, especially if you drop it and a horse is coming towards you. At least with the strap, it can just kind of fall rather than that bar coming at you itself. So when we get over here to driver's side, I'm just going to point out the drop windows, and I'm going to put some up because I want to show you the manger storage on this trailer as well. That's a lot of drop windows. But look at the size of them. Look at the framework around them. They're stout, they're strong, they're not prefab, they're not lightweight in your hands. You have jail bars as well that'll drop down. Maybe you want to throw some hay in there, offer some water as you're traveling. You've got the ability to get in and out. Also, Cimarron's done a drip rail above all their windows and doors. So what we try to do is we try to keep moisture away from those door openings themselves at the top. You know, it's more common in the winter months, but here in Colorado, we still have 300 days of sunshine. So what happens is we'll have that snow melt, and then in the daytime in the sun, and then at night it freezes, and that's when you'll have doors kind of freeze up on you. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get that moisture away from those openings just for that reason. That is an extruded piece. It's not an add-on. They actually build that specific part of those door frames, window frames, with that drip rail on it already. So it's not like an add-on piece after the fact. Welded hinges with grease zerks as well, so they're easier to maintain. Start getting a squeaky hinge, you can put grease to it. There's a brass rod in the middle that has grooves cut in it. So when you open and close it, it's trying to feed that grease throughout that entire hinge. What are we? We're about halfway there. Again, a lot of them. We'll stop there. We actually have mangers, so a ton of storage on this trailer as well. So again, as you're going to shows, needing to carry a lot, this back one here is a little bit oversized. Those right there around the wheel well are a little bit smaller just because we have to deal with that. But as you can see, you have all this storage all the way up to the first horse. So from the first horse to the 8th horse at the back of the trailer, this is all storage for you. You do have some LED lights in here as well. These are actually on a switch on the light itself. So you do have to watch buckets now and then going in and out. But I do want you to see at the very back here in this last manger, you see that pipe running down, that vertical pipe right there. That actually connects to the manger in the stall area. So when you're going to clean mangers out and you got that water in there, just nose this trailer up a little bit. There's a plug that pops out and it'll drain right out the bottom of the trailer. Same hinges as the drop windows, tack doors, nice solid seals when you shut them. There's one behind this tack door. It's an oversized as well. So you kind of have them every other stall. And then there's the one at the back. Well, then you get to this part of the trailer and there's your Traner tack. Took us a while to get here. There's a lot on this trailer, but good look at it. Dual doors. So you shut the right hand door first, then your left overlaps it. Deadbolt combo on that as well. Brush trays on the doors. Bridle hooks on the doors. Carpet on the doors and all the walls of the tack itself. We're really wanting to protect everything you're putting in here. It's precious cargo as well, not just the horse area. So again, smaller items in there. The carpet again protects everything. These are aluminum powder coated. bridle hooks, so they're nice and stout. That's the design that Cimarron came up with. You have a lot more depth up and down. I think they're deeper off the wall as well, good spacing. So if you're throwing stuff on there, you know, you're not having things fall off on some of those older style bridle hooks you see out there. But then you have 3 tiers, so 3 rows of 4-tier saddle racks. Those are adjustable. So on this right now, you have 12 saddle racks. You just loosen the bolts up and down, tighten them. You can change sequencing if you want. 2 rows here of blanket poles, same thing. Those can be adjustable. Maybe you want to kind of swap the way they are or mix in some blanket bars with the saddle racks. You can do that. Everything's interchangeable right there. There's that gray rubber floor that we did on the front tack room and the hay room as well. So you have that incorporated. More hooks at the front. And then also 2 fold-up steps for the doors. So as you're stepping up and down, again, we are raised up right now, so it's a little bit taller. I'll go ahead and shut this door up. You do have LED lights inside there as well. So again, really simple to use. There's a good look at that. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and show you this. There's that larger manger door at the front. And then let's talk about turning a triple axle trailer. It is not fun. You have to be cautious of it. It puts a lot of stress on the axles, the hubs, the tires, the wheels, everything. So, but they pull phenomenally well. We have the ability to have a triple axle, spread axle, air ride. This trailer is gonna pull so really, you know, so well itself, but turning it. You get into these summer months on asphalt, 95, 100 degrees, those tires are hot, they wanna dig in. So that's where it puts a little bit more stress on them. So that's the knock on a triple axle. Well, at Transwest, what we've gone in and done is we've gone in and done an air dump. And we've done that air dump on the first axle. We used to do it on the back axle, but we've actually shifted it to the front axle. And the reason why is we are trying to put a little bit more on the truck itself by doing that. It'll put a little bit more tongue weight on it, taking more off the trailer, off those axles, off those tires. So what it does is, I've got this little key fob here. You do have to be aware of where you put this in the truck. Don't put it somewhere where you can bump it, you know, in a cup holder where it gets, you know, it hits it and turns it on. But you still want it to be handy when you do want to utilize it. So if we come in here and we want to crank this trailer around, you kind of be a little bit prepared. You kind of stop and you hit this on button. You're going to notice this light right here comes on. And again, that's another thing we've done is we've actually changed that to actually go ahead and flash. So we want it, you can see it from the driver's seat in the rear view mirror. That light used to just come on, but we wanted it to actually strobe so you're a little bit more aware of it if you do bump this guy. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to be running 80 and hit your brakes with that guy off, because there's really not a lot of resistance to it and you'll flat spout a tire in a second. So it's more of backing into these type of scenarios. So when you hit that, you probably can hear that compressor kicked on because we're actually shifting the weight to the back 2 axles right now. The front axle will not pick up physically off the ground, but what it's doing is it's pushing the weight to those back 2 axles, and this front axle will just kind of skate. But now, compressor's kicked off, I know everything's now shifted. I can crank this thing around like a tandem axle trailer and still have the ride of a triple. So again, this is something we can do to current triple axle air rides. We've got a couple customers that have done it to tandems. You got to be really cautious of those. We can help you out with that. But on these triple axle air rides, when we bring a trailer in, we're factoring this into it. It's already in the price. We're already doing it if a trailer's available like this one is today. So this step's already taken care of for you. And then when you're done, you hit the off button, turns that light off. And now what it's going to do is it's going to start shifting that air from those back 2 axles back into the first axle, and then evening out everything as far as that actual weight itself. You hear the compressor kick back on because again, it's compensating for what we just did there. I think we covered all of our bases here. Again, this is a beautiful 8-horse with a ton of options on it, and again, unbelievable running gear underneath this trailer. So this trailer is available today. I'm going to give you the stock number for reference for it. Again, it's a 2024 Cimarron Norstar 8-horse triple axle air ride trainer tack. Stock number is 5N230139. We do take trade-ins, so if you're looking to upgrade, downsize, whatever you need to, we can help you out there. Financing's available, and delivery is an option as well, so we can have this at your doorstep. I don't think I could probably get it right there to Serbia for you, Joker, but maybe we could at least get it to the coast. So give us a call. Anybody on the sales team can help you out. That number is 303-684-3400. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good day.